The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. So, if you are pretty familiar with this channel, you are aware that I love the movie called The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Notre Dame, either way. I freaking adore this movie. I love this shit down, but my main gripe with this movie is that there are certain elements in it where it feels kiddie and it feels out of the ass for the story that it is set in. This isn't even a new opinion, by the way, because people have been expressing their irritations with this film, that being that there was inclusion of these gargoyle characters that could speak with magic and shit like that, and they feel so different from the actual tone of this film. Here you have these characters that are very similar to the Three Stooges, Mr. Bean type, whatever the fuck that was. Very slapsticky, over the top characters. But then we go back to the actual story, you know, the real Hunchback of Notre Dame, and it is dark, greedy, and horrifying. I personally think The Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of Disney's best because it handles the subject of misogyny towards women of color, ableism, and religion pretty well, in my opinion. But because this story felt too dark, there was these inclusions of these characters that was supposed to lighten it, and it is the reason why I cannot truly say that this film is all the way great, because this one aspect of it was in it too much. It's one thing if these gargoyle characters was only in the film for like one or two scenes, but no, they kept sprinkling in and out and in and out and in and out the film, and it just got irritating. Like when I'm watching The Hunchback of Notre Dame, I fast forward through these scenes because I can't fucking stand these guys. But looking back at The Hunchback of Notre Dame and then looking at so much of the material that has come along years after that film's release, it has made me realize that Disney is a contribution to why people feel as though drawings, comics, cartoons, animation overall is seen to be for kids. Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry Hook's Pirate Ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got a first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate, but hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Welcome to Disney-cember. If you're not familiar with my version of Disney-cember it is when I spend the month of December just critiquing the Disney company and its properties overall. I did get the inspiration from Doug Walker's Disney-cember. I'm not even gonna sit here in front like I didn't, and I told myself I want to do my own version of that series, and here we are. Before we move forward, I just want to say that I do have an online shop, harryonhook.com, but also it's not even just a shop, it's a blog, by the way. I know the holiday season is coming up and you want to support a black owned business, a black woman owned business specifically, I deeply would appreciate it. Also, my book, Do Not Call Me Sis, which is a collaboration book that I wrote with a good friend of mine named Amaya Janelle. It is a collection of essays talking about the subjects of white feminism, misogynoir, ableism, and entertainment. The physical copy is now back in stock. So yeah. Okay, now let's actually get into my criticism. When is Disney ever going to make an adult animated film? Like, when are they gonna do that? Because we could have had that shit with the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I'm not even fucking joking. We could have had that with Pocahontas too, just as well, if you guys actually know the real story of Matoka and her life. But we're not gonna get that shit, because you want to know why? There is something that I constantly say here on this channel, and if you're familiar, say it along with me. The main purpose of the entertainment industry is to first make money, and second, to entertain. The Disney company, in my opinion, is a company I say that has been in very hot water in the last recent years, because so much of this has to do with the fact that when we grew up, we were blinded by the cuteness of this company. But now that we're getting older, we're finally starting to see the flaws within it, inside their work and outside of it with the company's practices and such. Because y'all, we gonna drag them for not paying their workers, but funding you know what. I am somebody that truly believes that you should be able to tell a story the way you want to. And I have seen so many creatives frustrated and struggling with their work because they feel as if their work is not going to reach a wide demographic. I'm just gonna go ahead and sit here and say this. Not everything created is going to be made for you. But that is the problem with Disney's company overall. They're always trying to make works appeal to everybody. Because I remember somebody had mentioned something about why was that white woman in The Princess and the Frog such a prominent character? And I was like, oh no, Disney put Charlotte's ass in that film because they wanted white people to care about it. And what do you know? When a lot of white people are talking about how much they love The Princess and the Frog, they say that they love Charlotte's character a lot. She's one of their favorite parts of the film. It's a frustrating thing in my opinion when it comes to the material that Disney has made, because I am going to talk a little bit about the MCU and my problem with that. It's not going to be what you think, don't even fucking play with me. But also it has a lot to do with its animated movies. Oftentimes when it comes to Disney, I feel like they are picking tooth and nail about what they want to include within their films, and I'm going to take Turning Red as a prime example, because it's beyond them not even trying to go and make an animated movie for adults. It's the fact that when it comes to their movies that are supposed to be for all ages, a general audience, family entertainment, they are still tiptoeing around little things that I personally don't think are that bad. And my thing with Turning Red has to do with the entire period situation. In the film, the mother thought her daughter had gotten her period, and we see her walk in there with a thing of pads, tampons, and I'm pretty sure some painkillers too, because if people that get periods understand that you're gonna cramp. A lot of people get cramps when they have their periods, but if you don't get a cramp, you're gonna get headaches, you're gonna get back pain. Periods are fucking awful, okay? When that shit happened, it was kind of annoying because I was sitting there watching the movie and I was just simply waiting for them to say the word period or menstruation. They didn't say either of those things. That's the big problem that I have with this. It's just little things like that that are seen as taboo that are just pretty much normal in real life. When I see the way they tiptoe around with their family films, it just goes to show me that they are never going to be in a position to make an adult animated film, a full-length adult animated film to be specific, because they're always going to try to tiptoe around shit as a way to make more money. Because Turning Red already got a lot of shit for that scene in general with them talking about the subject of periods, and I know damn well that that movie would have gotten dragged way more than it should have if they actually said the word period. But also, in defense of art, I think it would have been extremely important to say that shit, because I most definitely remember when I got my damn period, my mama straight up said the word period. Because that's literally what it is. That is not something that we need to dance around. And that is some more shit that I constantly keep seeing with a lot of these Disney films. It's these things that are pretty much in our fucking faces. We see it. It's here. But they keep dancing around it. Because I remember it was somebody had pointed this shit out about Big Hero 6. Because as we know, Tadashi, the older brother in the film, was K-worded in a fire. Disney would not come out and strictly say exactly what it was. They were so afraid of saying the K word. And then it was annoying when Hero was talking about his brother being dead. He was like, he's gone. And I was like, just say he dead. Now moving forward with how Disney handles their animated films, let's go go ahead and move on to the MCU. The MCU films are films that I could say, well, these are live action, by the way, still plays a part into it. These are films that, deprived from properties, I say are pretty dark and gritty and rated R to a certain extent. Disney finds a way to make these shits the most PG-13 way as possible, because somebody else even pointed out how the MCU has this constant issue with them always trying to be funny and quirky and cute, and it just comes off as irritating, and it has gotten to the point where so many of these films felt the same. I am not the biggest fan of the MCU. I personally don't care, and that's because I lost interest in it when I tried to watch these movies, because I was noticing the same ongoing fucking problems. But what my last straw was when it comes to the MCU is when I actually went and looked up what happened in these comics that these movies are deprived from, and I was like, wait a fucking minute. That's just a PG-13. It's not even PG-13 if we're being fucking honest. That is just the PG version of what the actual fucking story is. And it makes the MCU look a bit boring in my opinion. Because I was like, the work that this is pulling from is amazing. I think it's great. Why do you feel the need to baby it? You're babying your stories. You're literally affecting your own arc because you want to be able to appeal to a big, wide demographic as much as possible. I'm telling y'all, capitalism is always going to be the reason why art gets ruined. And Disney likes to brand itself as a family company. I get that. I understand that. But with them buying a lot of these properties and seeing where a lot of their audience is, that being adults, they are in a position to make an adult animated film. And I personally think that it is a movie that most likely will do well. But they're never going to do that because at the end of the day, Disney is not sitting here thinking about the artistic aspect of their works. They're sitting here thinking of the money aspect of their works, because guess what is something that always comes out when a Disney movie is released? Merchandise. All them people complaining about the movie Wish, guess what? That merchandise is gonna fucking sell. At this point, it doesn't even feel like Disney kind of cares enough about the work that is being made, but seeing how much they can milk that shit. Because I remember not too long after Turning Red has came out, and I'm gonna be honest, Turning Red has to be one of my favorite films that Disney has come out with in like the last 5 years. I'm gonna go ahead and be straight up honest. When Turning Red came out, they was already putting out little plushies and shit, and y'all see that they are milking the Four Town thing. And part of the reason that has to do with that shit is because Disney knows that kids, their parents are going to buy these merchandise, but also the adults that love these properties too are going to buy these things for themselves. So let's say that Disney actually does have an adult animated film, a film that is for the adult targeted audience. And I'm not even sitting here fucking saying that this movie has to be extremely inappropriate, has to be extremely gory and gutty and have lots and lots of profanity. I'm just talking about a property, a show that is strictly made for an older audience. Let's just say that they make a movie about life in living in your 30s. Let's just say that it's something similar to Community or The Office or New Girl. Now let's say that Disney wants to sell merchandise for that said series, show, whatever, film. Y'all get the gist of it. The only people that are going to be buying that merchandise is just adults. It's not going to be parents buying those materials for their children. It is just going to be adults spending that money. And guess what? Disney already took a big dent in their damn pocket. This company is well off for like ever at this point. They don't think they are, but they think because they need to go buy another fucking yacht that no, actually, let's go ahead and revise this film. Let's try to make it as kiddie as we can, but still have a lot of those adult elements in it so we can be able to sell merchandise to that younger demographic. I'm not even fucking joking. I feel like that is so much of the logic that goes in these team board meetings at that company. I see that Disney is slowly starting to make shows and movies and such for an older audience, because I'll even take the Proud Family Louder and Prouder for example. So much of that series audience came from people that grew up with the original Proud Family. Me, for example. A lot of us are grown adult in our fucking 20s, some in their 30s now. They ended up making it a little bit more, what's the word? I won't even say grown up, but they felt a little bit easier talking about certain issues that they didn't blurt out and say in the original run, and it was also rated TV PG. Big Hero 6, the series, in my opinion, is a series that actually did go a bit more in detail about the subject of death. There is a scene in this series where Hero comes face to face with his brother's K-worder. That shit is fucking terrifying, and it's honestly so sad, and it's extremely heartbreaking. But that's right there just made me sit and go and realize Disney has the potential to make an adult animated series or film. They most definitely have the range to do so, but they choose not to. I know a lot of y'all are not the biggest fan of Cardi B, not me, but there was something that she had mentioned, and I remember a lot of people getting a little bit upset with her, but not so upset with her, but the situation. Because Cardi B found out she had a kid audience. Like, she found out a lot of kids enjoyed her media, and as somebody that was, like, you know, in high school when Cardi B's Come Up was coming, yeah, I can attest to that. I most definitely know that that shit is true. She was talking about making her brand a little bit more family friendly because she is aware of that shit. And first of all, one, I can understand that, and that's part of the reason why there are certain jokes and shit like that that I don't make on my channel, because I am aware what a good chunk of my audience is. But also, guess the fuck what? I'm not gonna not cuss, because this is my art, this is my channel, this is what I want to fucking do. That shit goes to show you that Cardi B was going to start making music that was a little bit more family friendly. And if any of y'all actually sat there and listened to fucking Cardi B's music, y'all know exactly what the fuck she be talking about in there. Alright? Go listen to WAP. Go listen to WAP. And people were sitting there saying, Cardi, do not change your art for the sake of wanting to appeal to a wider demographic. And I completely understand why she wanted to appeal to that wider demographic, because you want to know why? A lot of celebrities are money hungry. A lot of people that work in entertainment in general are money hungry. And a lot of people have figured out that if they are able to appeal to a really big demographic and not just their small niche, it's not even just a small niche, but they're different types of groups, they will make hella bag, alright? And like I said, at the end of the day, capitalism will always truly affect art and how it is made. It's kind of sad because I sit here and I look at so many of like the earlier seasons of a lot of shows that I enjoyed growing up, and seeing the later seasons and what they have come to, so much of it just has turned into like pop culture references, or just, hey, let's create this shit so people would look at it and laugh at it and we can make money off of it by selling merch for the same thing. It's frustrating. Thank you all so much for watching today's episode of Disney-cember. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not even fucking joking. It was taking me forever to figure out which video I wanted to film, because I get super excited when it comes to the subject of Disney-cember every year. And yeah, so yeah, this is some thoughts that I have had. I just got really frustrated in general with the Disney company, and I most recently was watching Moon Girl, and there was an entire like section of the show that had to do with the grandmother and one of her friends that took place in the 70s, and it was like adults working at this like science facility or some shit. I don't fucking know, but that right there was just extremely well done. The emotion, the romance, the friendship was there, and that had to be one of my favorite moments that was in the entire season overall, that had to do with the adults. And it was just like when are we ever gonna get an adult animated Disney movie, series, whatever? I still want to have my hopes up that one day this company stops giving a fuck about wanting to appeal to fucking everybody and just go and make their art as authentic as possible. And if it ends up getting that PG-13 rating, or if it ends up getting that R rating, then so fucking be it. At the end of the day, y'all told that story authentically as much as you could, and that is what fucking mattered. Yeah, like I said, my shop and my blog are harryunhinged.com. I also have Patreon. I haven't necessarily been promoting it that much all year, but I do have that. I also have Instagram. I post all like my cosplay stuff on my main account, my business account. I post like updates for a shop and just my blog and memes and shit like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I keep moving my hand like this, and I know one of y'all are noticing it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, night, whatever time of the day that you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.